Hey guys, we're doing a family review of the 2025 refreshed Acura MDX Type S. Actually, every single seat is filled right now. It's a 7-seater. I'm going to tell you all the updates for 2025, but definitely stay to the end after we do our review because I'm going to tell you if it's a good buy. We just drove a similar luxury SUV last week, and that was the Genesis GV80. We're going to compare it a little bit against that vehicle today. We're also going to look online to see if we can find any deals on this refreshed Acura MDX Type S. So let's start with the exterior color. This is urban gray pearl. We're seeing this more and more in Acura and Honda's lineup. It's a fantastic color. However, it doesn't really show itself in this gloomy weather. It does have a nice sparkle and flare to it when the sun directly hits it, but it's kind of drab today. Sorry for that. All right, they have enlarged the Diamond Pentagon grille, and the Type S does have some more breathable holes here for more air to feed this turbocharged engine. Type S badge, and they have taken the frame out, so the grille looks bigger. They also reworked the bottom portion, which I think it's taken a slight step back compared to the pre-refresh in terms of overall design with these big blocky pieces. In fact, I think the standard MDX, like the premium model, not the Type S or the A-Spec, but the base looking model actually looks the best. But I'll see you guys in the comments about that. The headlights have not changed. We still have the jewel eye headlights. All right, we come to the side, we have these massive Brembo brakes. I want to say these are 21-inch wheels. Let me double check. Yep, 21-inch wheels here. We also have air ride suspension. The vehicle will raise and lower depending on how sporty you want it. We come to a stop. Cassie just noticed that the vehicle dipped down, so it's easier to get in and out of, which is actually really nice for the kids to get into. It's almost as low as the Honda Odyssey that we reviewed for a while. Blacked out window surrounds, blacked out roof rails, Type S badge on the back, glossy black garnishes around the wheels, the bottom of the vehicle. We come to the back, it still has a chicane style brake lights. That hasn't changed with the refresh. We have the quad tip exhaust. Really from the back, it looks just about the same. So we also have the super handling all-wheel drive, of course, standard with the MDX Type S, but we're gonna get kicked out because security's here. Good morning. He didn't kick us out. That's nice. He's probably just looking for trash. This is actually a decent amount of cargo space for having kids, like with the third row assembled. All right, so Cass, if you come here, you can see we have a lot of underfloor storage here. All right, you're not gonna have, I don't believe you're gonna have a spare tire on this vehicle. Even though there's a ton of space underneath, I wouldn't be surprised if you could fit a spare tire underneath of this vehicle because there's a big well of emptiness underneath this floor. There's also a power outlet here for accessory power, and then there's also this button. If you press it and walk away, the lift gate will close. And at 6'1", I have lots of space here. I'm not bonking my head, which I really, really appreciate. All right, let's go ahead and close this down. Actually, let's go ahead, let me show you real quick. Guys, if we look in the back seat, we have cup holders. You also have a USB-A over here, and you also have a USB-A on this side as well with nice big windows for the third row, and you can see the kids' legroom. They have plenty of legroom. Just 2 seats here in the back, but these seats are oversized for children. Now, this seat, oh, the sissies are playing with it a bit. Maybe she pulled this tab, but that'll fold this forward, but this is your escape hatch. We already have some, casualties here with the snacks, and Abe's saying, hey, we need to hurry the show up. All right, so we have the beautiful piping seats in the back. They're also heated and just heated, not ventilated in the back seat. Sorry, I drove the GV80 last week that had ventilated in the back seats. USB-Cs here. That was a big panel roof. And there's plenty of space. Cass, if you want to get inside, there's plenty of space in that second row for adults. It also has sunshades, but let's go and get the sunroof going. It also will slide open, which people really appreciate. Go ahead. There's the sunroof opening up, and I guess we'll talk more about this interior from the front passenger's perspective as we drive. The kids need to go, so let's start going. And real quick before we hit the road, 3-liter turbocharged V6 10-speed auto, 355 horsepower, 354 pound-feet of torque. I'll tell you what kind of fuel economy we're going to get it on this vehicle, at least driving in town, and I've also seen really good results on the highway. Let's go and close this down and start driving. All right, before we start talking about the driving dynamics, we do have to drive to the very bottom of this parking garage. So Cass and I will start talking about some of the features in the cabin, the materials. Head-up display here is really bright, really pleasant. It's huge font. It's one of the best head-up displays, I think, in the industry. All right. Technology, this has been improved for 2025. They brought it forward. It's now a touchscreen. The touchpad is gone, which is going to make a lot of people very, very, very happy to hear. So they have reworked some of this area where the cup holders are. So you have a wireless charger there, volume knobs right off of that area as well. Cass, as we go down, ambient lighting on the doors. What do you think?
Cute.
Yeah, and you can customize it. So if I go through here, I think it's right here. There it is. I knew it was a shortcut. Ooh. So they themed the ambient lighting off of different areas around the world. Wow. Even though Acura is really it's really just a North American brand. So, but that's cool. That's cool.
So cool.
You know, here we go. We're at was that Paris?
Yep.
Yeah. So we kind of this is kind of the girls theme because it's pink LED lighting on top and it's purple at the bottom. So yeah, and you can
look, it's even on the side doors.
The girls have it in the back seat too. So the kids love this ambient lighting stuff. All right. Oh, I also made a shortcut for Android Auto, which is nice, and the ergonomics here are pretty good. The screen's nice and close to me. Climate control is pretty fantastic. We haven't had any issues with it this week. It's, you know, fan speed if I need to do manuals right here, but the auto's been fantastic, and we can link it with the sync button if we need to, which is right here. All right. We also been really enjoying our massaging seats. I think there's like 9 different settings.
It's the best.
It's great. It's really good massaging
and it's quiet.
seat. You're right. How often is massaging seat obnoxiously loud?
So often.
Oh, we just got a Sprigatito thrown up to the front. Girls, keep your toys away from the driver. It's a safety hazard.
It's very, very nice. And it's rare that it's quiet.
Yeah, the massaging seat, yeah. No one even knows it's on except your butt or your back. Right, and some massaging seats don't even hit your bottom, so we appreciate this one a lot.
Yeah, it's nice.
Now, I will say something about this screen. I mean, I haven't put more than maybe 5 to 10 minutes to figure it out. I haven't researched it too much, but I can't figure out an easy way to get rid of this split screen, which this is kind of a remnant of the old software, which like this side screen was operated by a smaller touchpad. Yeah, can you imagine 2 touchpads? That's, you get it in RDX and it still has 2 touchpads, right? So it's like, it's just, I want the full screen here to be Android Auto, and I don't know how to do that. You guys will tell me in the comments if it's possible. All right, you also have the dynamic mode here, which I haven't been playing with too much, honestly, because this has been taking my kids to school. But when you put it into sport mode and sport plus mode especially, you got to hold down, you are going to be lowered. And interestingly, you still have a nice individual mode, which if you press and hold, you can customize your mode exactly the way you want it. All right, but we need to keep moving because Abe does not like to be stopped. All right, but for today's purposes, we're just going to let's be in sport mode a little bit, and it just immediately downshifted and it wants to party. Okay, this vehicle is really meant for families that want to hustle from point A to point B. And we'll get more into that in a little bit. But Cass, what do you think about like the materials here in the vehicle for the price point? Well,
I'm not the biggest fan of shiny plastic.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Maybe that. And there's a lot of colors happening.
Yeah, and we had the same sort of knock on our Odyssey that we had for 7 months. There's just so much layering and so many competing textures and colors that it just was not pleasing to the eye. All right, we had the GV80 last week. We like that interior a lot better, and it costs about the same as this MDX Type S, all right? But there are pros and cons to each one, all right? It just depends what you're looking for. But I do like the wood accents on the door and up here, but then you just never appreciate it because of all the piano black.
It's very bright too.
It's very bright.
It's blinding a bit.
It's blinding, and in fact, I get blinded when the sun hits this area around the auto brake hold button. It hits me hard, and in fact, I've been blinded by the shiny plastic, even on the steering wheel. So it's just a bit unfortunate. I mean, being in sunny Florida, today's an exception, but typically it's very sunny here, and so.
Squirrel on the road.
Yep, thanks, Eve. We'll drive around the squirrel. Don't backtrack, squirrel. Don't do. Jeez, he scared me.
I think he went back the other side.
I didn't feel a crunch. I didn't hear a crunch.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Oh man, just.
Yeah,
he's fine. Thanks,
good.
Eve. Thanks for the confirmation. Okay, now that we've kind of talked about our thoughts about the interior, we wish it was a little bit nicer and just a little bit more cohesive of an interior. Let's just talk about the performance now. Oh yes, that's why you buy this. You buy this. I'm not, I'm going in a straight line, so mom's not going to get too sick.
Because this guy doesn't know where he's going.
Yeah, the car carries. The snowbirds are leaving. Thank heavens, the snowbirds are leaving. This vehicle, and we'll get this. It's just very sharp feeling. You can tell it's a Honda vehicle from the get-go. Like the steering, the second you move the steering wheel, it just wants to turn the steering and the wheels into the turn. And in sport mode, it's lowered. It feels very car-like. And that's something we found with the Odyssey that we tested for 7 months. It just felt like a big wagon.
Yeah, it's so nice.
This doesn't feel like an SUV. It feels like a wagon. And so we really, I know Cass, she's not on the press loaner for this, but she would really appreciate how this car handles. All right, there's a standard MDX right there. Still a good looking vehicle. We like the looks of the MDX for sure.
Oh yeah, they're cute.
Yep. I do have a heated steering wheel. I don't think I mentioned that. Heated and ventilated seats, memory seats on each side, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Because if you wanted to drive, if we own this, you just press your button. It's 3 different settings. So that's pretty next level to have memory seats on each side.
That is really nice.
Yeah, and the comfort in here is really, really good too. I don't think I have like adaptive bolsters. I think the TLX might have adaptive bolsters. Let me play with this. Oh, I was wrong. I've been so comfortable this week that I haven't been playing with the seat other than just turning on the massaging seat. So I do have, bolsters and thigh extension in here, but like these seats are fantastic. We're really, really happy with the comfort.
Yes, they're so comfy.
Yeah, it's really well done. Like this would be a great road trip car. We do have acoustic glass here up front.
Ooh, that's
and maybe
nice.
even in the back windows. I haven't really checked. I just know it's a quiet vehicle, it's a comfortable vehicle, and it's a fun to drive vehicle. So let's compare it a little bit to the GV80 that we had last week, at least in driving dynamics. This, in theory, isn't quite as fast. It doesn't have as big of an engine, and it's a single turbo instead of twin turbo, but the tuning here, it's more eager to play. It's more willing to just pick a gear and go compared to the GV80 last week. Now from a stop, the GV80 is going to be faster, but it's, in 99% of the situations in driving, this is more responsive, it's more fun to drive, and it feels like it's the faster vehicle compared to a GV80 twin turbo. All right, we're going to do a U-turn. The turning radius is so good for such a big car. And yeah, like I said, the steering is very accurate. Where like the steering and the GV80 is very floaty, very old school luxury. This feels like a performance SUV. It's very, very different. We like the interior of the GV80 by a mile. And Cass, what do you think about? There's another. Wow, it's just a MDX day. What do you think of the exterior versus this and the GV80? Be honest.
The GV80 is the Genesis, right?
Yeah.
Well, the Genesis is it's really recognizable.
Yes.
Whereas this one's not as recognizable.
I would say, yeah, if you want.
But it's nice looking.
Oh, yeah, we love the looks of it.
Yeah.
I would say the Genesis still has more like curb appeal and more like clout to it.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
I haven't got compliments on this vehicle this week, and I was getting a lot of compliments last week in the GV80.
Yeah.
All right. The GV80 can also have a third row, but this third row is far more accommodating.
It's
really big.
Roomy.
Yep, it's very, very nice. So, who is this vehicle for? I would say for families that like to drive, that like to hustle, that like throwing vehicles, heavy family vehicles in a turn. This does it great, and the super handling all-wheel drive powers it out of the turn really, really nicely. All right. But it's not for big families.
No.
Like we've capped this vehicle out, and it's just, we're like, hey, just give us an Odyssey. That's what works better for us.
Right. Well, we need minivan.
Minivan's just the answer for families of more than 3 kids. Even 2 kids, if they're little, it's just still better than anything else in terms of practicality.
Yeah.
So Cass, you would say, what is this vehicle best for in terms of family size?
2 to 3 kids?
2 to 3 kids, I would agree.
Yeah. 2 to 3.
2 to 3 with the occasional third row.
With the occasional third row.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can always fold down the middle seat back here.
That's true. You can have someone climb through.
You can have someone climb through and still have one of the seats folded in the back for better cargo space.
But in terms of car seats, 2.
Yeah, if you have rear-facing seats, it's, still probably a 2 to 3. Yeah. It's just. Yeah, so I'm gonna turn it back into comfort mode. I want to feel the softer softer feelings of this vehicle. It's even in comfort mode, it's not nearly as soft or as floaty as the Genesis last week. So it just really depends what you're looking for. If you want nicer materials, if you want old school luxury feel and old school luxury looks, it's the GV80. All right, I will say that this transmission, it's good 99% of the time, and the upshifts are really fast. But sometimes when when you're coming to a stop and it's downshifting, it can be a bit lurchy and a bit rough.
Interesting.
Which is interesting. This is a sport-tuned version of the transmission that we had in the Odyssey, and that transmission was perfect. It was so butter smooth, and in fact, I think Cass would agree that the Odyssey as a luxury vehicle is kind of better than this.
Ooh. Can I have the massage seats though too?
Yeah, we just want the massaging seats in the Odyssey and call it a day.
Call it a day.
Right?
Perfect vehicle.
The tech is better in here, but in terms of just, you know, smoothness and ride quality, we think the Odyssey might actually edge this out. And I think the Odyssey's engine is a lot quieter too.
Oh, really?
Right? Especially when you're accelerating hard. Like this engine's pretty loud.
It's loud.
It sounds good though.
People like loud engines, no?
Yeah, when you're buying this, you want that more visceral experience because it's a sport SUV.
Right, yeah.
And so Acura's done a good job of blending comfort and performance. All right. Any last words, Cass? And then I'll hop in the office.
Oh, okay. I like it. It's comfy.
That's comfy?
It's roomy. I don't feel like claustrophobic. It's nice.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
like,
I think you, like I said, I think you would really enjoy driving it because it feels very similar to how the Odyssey was.
feels safe and...
But an Odyssey is 20, like a top end Odyssey is 20 grand less than this, and you know where we would be going.
Yes.
So, but most people don't have a bunch of kids like we do.
Right.
All right, if you have 2 to 3 kids and you like to drive fast and hard, this is a good option as well. Good.
And it
Abe's
puts the baby
snoring.
to sleep. Nice car.
Abe's snoring.
That's good.
We had to put it, you know,
In comfort mode.
Yeah, we put it in comfort mode, and he's out. Now this does have cabin talk, but it doesn't have cabin watch like the Odyssey had.
Oh, I loved cabin watch.
I know. Cass loved that camera that spied on the kids.
Oh no, that's nice.
It is nice. All right, we're gonna end it there, and we'll see you in the office.
Yeah, thank you. Acura, right?
Yeah,
Thank
Acura.
you.
Great job with this vehicle.
By Acura.
Look at that Genesis. I mean, that's pretty too.
Where is
that's
it?
That's a GV80 coupe. That's my first time seeing a GV80 coupe. All right, MDX Type S in my area. Well, okay. I didn't even talk at all about the base MDX. I think the base MDX, or should I say the standard MDX, is a good buy, 60K or below. I don't think above that. I'll have to review it separately, and I have reviewed it separately when I was on the media drive. The Type S is a so much better built vehicle. It handles better, it brakes better, the engine's so much better, it's so much more refined than the base MD. I'm not a big fan of the base MDX. It feels cheap in comparison to the Type S. It feels like a completely different vehicle. So there's my thoughts about the MDX normal model, not the Type S. But guys, we're reviewing the Type S, which is pretty fantastic. You're seeing them for 77K, at least in my area. My vehicle was MSRP. Let me pull it up for you guys. It was 75,550. So around 75K. The Genesis GV80 that I reviewed last week, it was completely decked out. That was like 80,000, somewhere around there. All right. So you definitely be cross-shopping those two vehicles. All right. So with that being said, I don't know if there are any deals to be had on an MDX Type S. No, at least all the literature I'm seeing here is that it is essentially a sticker price car. All right. Is it worth it at the sticker price? Let's go to our spreadsheet. And the answer is absolutely. I really enjoy the MDX Type S. MDX Type S. Luxury CUV, technically, right? Or a luxury SUV, SCUV, whatever you want to call it. We're reviewing this on 5/4. Happy May the 4th be with you guys. So what do I think? Is it as good as the GV80? Well, in some ways, the GV80 made my S tier, but the lack of interior quality, I'm not saying like the seats are great. It's just like the GV80 felt far more expensive on the inside. It has more curb appeal. It has more power. It's not quite as fun to drive, but it does just about everything else better except space in the third row. Is MDX Type S S tier? I don't think so. However, I think it's right in here as a really good buy. I think it's an excellent purchase, the MDX Type S. It's fun. It's well-rounded, I guess you could say. But fuel economy is not good on it. I mean, I think fuel economy might have actually been better on the GV80 that I was driving, just slightly in town. I think I was getting like 17, 18 in that, and I was getting like 16, 17 on this, but yeah, you're splitting hairs at that point. You know, the MDX Type S also took a downgrade, in my opinion, in terms of looks versus the pre-refresh, but that's totally subjective. You guys might disagree with that. So it's not as good as a GV80, but if you need more third row space, if you care about handling a little bit more and more like the fun to drive factor is better on the MDX, but the GV80 is just a better luxury SUV instead. All right. So I'll see you guys in the comments. Do you agree with it that it's an excellent purchase? You know, if I was reviewing, and maybe I will, but if I was reviewing the MDX, it would be somewhere in B, maybe even C. That's how much I'm not impressed by the base MDX, but the Type S is just a completely different car. It's so much better in every regard other than price than the standard MDX. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Take care and peace.